All right, guys, let's knock out this practice test for tomorrow's test 10. Number 1 says, given that cosine 7/25, find the other 5. What you need to do here is you need to draw your right triangle. Let me move this up a second. Okay, so I'm going to draw that triangle. You can draw it however you want to. Just make sure it's all about where you put your theta. This one says cosine x or theta is 7/25. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, which is 7/25. The opposite side, 7/24/25 is a famous one, so I'm putting a 24 there. If you don't know the 24, you need to do Pythagorean theorem and find the 24. Okay, if cosine 7/25, secant is reciprocal of that. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse, which is 24 over 25. Cosecant is reciprocal of sine. Tangent's opposite side over adjacent, leg, 24/7, and cotangent is reciprocal of tangent. No big deal. Cosine 60. This goes back to your 30, 60, 90 triangles. All right, 30, 60, 90 triangle looks like this. Hopefully you just know this already. But you got to get to where you know this. Opposite the 30 is the 1. The hypotenuse is 2. That's square root of 3. So if it asks you cosine of 60, I'm looking at adjacent over hypotenuse. It's 1/2. Sine 45. All the 45s are square root of 2 over 2. You know that. This one says change 72 degrees 55 minutes to degrees to decimals. So I'm going to do 72 plus. Since it's 55 minutes, I'm putting 55 over 60. I'm going to punch that in real quick. And I'm getting 72.92 degrees as a decimal. All right. And remember, if it was seconds, you put over 3,600. Okay, this one says use your calculator, find sine 54. Make sure you're in the right mode. I'm checking that right now on my calculator too, and I am. So you can just hit sine. If it's in the right mode, you can just hit sine 54. Just exactly like you see it. Hit sine 54. You should see 0.809. Or you can go about 4 decimal places on those. Now, cosecant 49.5, there's no cosecant button. So I'm actually going to punch in 1 over sine 49.5 because they are reciprocals of each other. So I'm hitting 1 divided by sine. Sorry about this. I'm actually punching as I'm talking. 49.5. And I'm getting 1.3151. Okay, 4 decimal places. Using your calculator, find theta. Now, if you're looking for theta instead of the giving you angle, anytime you're looking for an angle or looking for theta, that's when you do inverse sine, which is second sine. So I'm going to inverse sine, second sine of 0.2226, and I'm getting 12.86 degrees on that one. They didn't go 4 decimal places on that one because I'm looking for the angle there. If you're looking for the value, let's go the other way. Okay, so let's find the exact angle. Okay, here it is. Where's sine 1/2? Okay, I'm thinking back to my 30, 60, 90 triangle I've already drawn. I know sine is square root of 2 over 2 at 45. Where's the 1/2? So I'm looking back at this triangle on the top. Opposite over hypotenuse. Looks like 30 degrees would be the call. Guys, you just got to get to where you memorize those pretty soon. It's going to be your best and only hope. Okay, so next one says solve the triangle. The first one says A is 14.5 and B, which is down here, is 19.2. That's all I know right now. What I can do is I'm going to use Sohcahtoa and find out what I can here. If I do tangent of angle A, which is big A, it's 14. It's opposite over adjacent. That's going to tell me what big A is. So I'm going to punch that in real quick. Also, don't forget on that one, we're punching in an angle. And I'm going to go, I guess, nearest degree there, 37 degrees. Which means that just by knowing that, I already know angle B because all 3 angles have to be 180. So if I do 180 minus 37 minus the 90 I already have, that's going to give me 53 degrees. So I know the angle B is 53 degrees also. So now I know B, I know A. All I lack is C. You got lots of ways you can go here. I'm going to go, I'm going to go sine of 37, which is angle A, is opposite over hypotenuse, which is C. And because C is on the denominator, I'm going to divide 14.5. Talked about this in class today. 14, my calculator's not one to work. 14.5, still not going, sorry about this. 14.5 divided by sine of 37. Divided by sine 37. Enter there. And so for little c, I got 24.1. All right, and that makes sense. C should be the biggest side because it's the hypotenuse. So when it says solve the triangle, you got to find everything that's missing. There's angle A, there's angle B, and there's little c. You don't have to find big C because it's obviously 90 degrees. All right, I'm going to erase all those because I got another one just like it right beside me right here. So I'm using the same triangle. It says angle A is 37.42 degrees, and little c, which is side C, is 28.4. Got to find everything else. Now, the easiest thing to find is going to be angle B. I'm just going to subtract those angles from 180 like I did last time. 180 minus 37.42 minus 90. See what's left over. Angle B is 52.58 degrees. That's the best way to find angle B. What am I missing now? I need little b, side B, and side A. I'm going to go sine again. I'm going to go sine of 37.42 degrees. I'm going to do opposite over hypotenuse. Opposite, which is A. Hypotenuse is 28.4. This time I'm just going to cross multiply. 28.4 times sine 37.42 times sine. Sorry, it's taking me a while on my calculator. This video is going to be longer than it needs to be because it's taking me so long. Okay, and I get 17.2 or 17.3, and that was side A, so I got 17.3. Now to find side B, I'm going to do the exact same thing, so I'm going to do cosine. Cosine of the same angle is adjacent over hypotenuse. So this time I'm going to do 28.4 times cosine of 37.42. I'm going to punch that in. I'm getting 22.6, which makes sense because this should be bigger. It's opposite a bigger angle. So there are my three answers for that one. All right, number 10. Number 10, the longest zip line in the world is a zip rider at Icy Strait Point, Alaska. Its length is 54.95 feet and has a vertical drop of 13.20. Find the angle of depression. Okay, don't forget the angle of depression, angle of elevation must touch the horizontal. Must touch the horizontal. Even though if it says depression or not, it still has to touch the horizontal. So zip line starts way up there. It is 1,320 feet as a vertical drop. Okay, vertical means straight down. Its length, the zip line actually does this. Think about it, as you're going down like that on a zip line. It's 54.95 feet. And what it's asking you for is the angle of depression. That's the angle that it goes down. There's my horizontal. The ground is the horizontal. So the angle of depression is right here. There's my theta. Okay, so I'm going to find that angle right there. So to find it, look what I have. There's the opposite side. There's the hypotenuse. Opposite hypotenuse is sine. So I'm going to sine theta is 1320 over 54.95 theta. Now I'm looking for an angle. If you're looking for an angle, it's second or inverse sine of 1320 divided by my crazy calculator. I'm sorry, guys. 1320 divided by 54.95. Hit enter, and you're getting 13.9 degrees. Okay, for angle of depression. And that's for zip line, that's, you're moving there. Okay, number 11. How far from the base of a building is the bottom of a ladder, bottom of a 30-foot ladder that makes an angle of 75 from the ground? Okay, so here's our, come on now. Here's our building. I'm trying to draw it. There's our building. It's kind of crooked. There's our ground. The ladder is going up the building, and it's 30 feet. The angle it makes is 75. It wants to know how far away the bottom of the ladder is from the base of the building. So how big is that side right there? How far from the bottom of the ladder to the base of the building? What I'm looking at, the x is the adjacent side to the angle, and the 30 is the hypotenuse. So adjacent hypotenuse, that's cosine. So I'm doing cosine 75 is adjacent over hypotenuse. So all I'm going to punch in is 30 times cosine 75. Hey, it worked that time. And I get 7.76 or 7.8 feet. So the ladder is 7.8 feet from the bottom of the wall. Good news. We're going to skip 12 through 15. I thought we were going to get there this week. We didn't. So we're going straight to 16, which is all the review stuff. So 16, right in interval notation, the 2 is going to have a bracket because it's got an equal sign. The 5.8 is going to have a parentheses because it doesn't. All right, that's all for that one. Quick one. 17. 17, when you multiply these, I'm going to take the a all the way through first. So I'm going to get 5a to the 4th minus 6a squared b plus 5ab squared. Then I'm going to take the 3b through. So I get minus 15a cubed b plus 18ab squared, and then minus 15b cubed. And I'm looking for stuff I can add. And all I really see, I see those two. That's really all I see. So I'm going to start with 5a to the 4th. I'm probably going to rearrange and put the a cubed next, 15a cubed b. Then I'm going to put my a squared, my 6a squared b. Then the ones I underlined, which would be 23ab squared. And then the last term, 15b cubed, that has no a. So I kind of went in decreasing order of my a's. Kind of the best way to go there. So not tough, just be careful on that one. All right, number 18, factor of cubes, small, big, cube root, square, multiply together, change the sign, square. Okay, so it's like this, small, big, cube root. And if you don't know the cube root of 216 is 6, go to your math button on your calculator, you'll find the cube root button. Okay, so it's small, big, cube root, square, multiply together, change the sign, square. All there is to it. 19, factor this. That looks like slide, divide, slide, if it's at all possible. So I'm going to slide the 4. One thing about these lately is when I've had these on the test lately, people have done this and they've factored really well. Got here, and then they just stop. Don't forget it's called slide, divide, slide. Okay, we slid the 4. Now you got to divide by 4. So I'm going to divide that by 4, that by 4. Reduce those fractions. That's 3 halves. That's 1 half. Now, slide the 2's into the front with the x's. 2x plus 3, 2x plus 1, donezo. All right, number 20. Man, there's a bunch of them. 20. Okay, rationalize the denominator. When you rationalize, you got to multiply by the conjugate. The conjugate of 3 minus the square root of 5 is 3 times the square root of 5. 3 times the square root of 5. Now, when you multiply conjugates in your denominator, you just do foo, first, last, just foo. All right, so if I do first, 3 times 3 is 9. If you do last, negative square root of 5 times positive square root of 5, you just get 5. 9 minus 5 is 4, so there's the bottom. The top, I'm just going to distribute. 4 times 3 is 12. And 4 times the square root of 5 is 4 on the square root of 5. And I would be done right there, except I can divide the 4 into the 12 and the 4. And you can only do that if you can do all of them. So you end up right there. Last one, finally. Nope, I lied. 3 more. Wow, they just keep on going. That's all I could see, so I thought that was the last one. Okay, when you add fractions, you must have LCD. So I'm going to factor this first one. It'd be x minus 5, x minus 2. The second fraction is supposed to be an x right there. That's going to be x minus 5, x minus 3. So my common denominator is going to be x minus 5, x minus 2, x minus 3, all those. So I got to look at that and ask myself, what's the first one missing? Well, it's missing the x minus 3. So I'm going to do 3x times x minus 3, which is 3x squared minus 9x. And this one is missing the x minus 2. So I'm going to multiply the x minus 2 times the numerator. Remember, it's negative 2. So it's going to be negative 2x squared and a positive 4x. Add your numerator. That gives me x squared and a minus 5x over x minus 5, x minus 2, x minus 3. Now, I'll be done right there, except I'm looking at the numerator thinking, hey, you know what? I can factor out an x and get x minus 5. The x minus 5s are going to cancel. All that leaves on the top is an x. On the bottom leaves an x minus 2 and an x minus 3. And there you have it. All right, 22, find the domain. Remember, you cannot ever have a 0 in your denominator, so my domain is everything except for negative 4. We write it just like this. And there's that one. Last one for inverse. Remember what inverse means. Inverse means you take the x's and the y's and you switch them or interchange them. Then you get the y by itself. So in this one, I'm going to multiply to get rid of that fraction, make it xy minus 8x equals 3. And all I did right there is I cross-multiplied. Okay, I'm moving that over. xy is going to be 8, positive 8x plus 3. And then to finish up, to get the y by itself, I'm dividing by the x right there. And don't forget that y needs to be, when you get it by itself, it needs to be inverse of f negative 1. All right, there it is. Hope it helps. You can skip around again as much of this as you want to. I don't know why I'm moving it right there. Hope it helps. I'll be here early in the morning. Come see me if you need any more help. Hope you do well. See you tomorrow.